Hello, welcome. This is our community open call. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. This is our July session. If you are new here, the community open call is a place that we can have fun and friendly talk about all things Rocket.Chat. And today is a very special day. We are about to release the 5 version, and we are going to be talking about that. Don't worry. So today we have, as always, our CEO, Gabriel Angel. Hello, Gabriel.
Hello, how are you guys?
Oh, so today we are not having Rodrigo Nascimento. Today is his birthday, so congratulations for you, Rodrigo. Also, we have here Singly, our Chief of Opportunities. Hello, Sing. Nice. And also we have our Vice President of Product, Christopher Skelly. Hello, Mr. Christopher.
Hey,
Awesome.
Duda. Hello,
So
everybody.
today we're going to talk about the Matrix Federation with Aaron. We're going to have him here in a briefly. I'm your host for today's. I'm community manager here at Rocket.Chat. Also, kudos for Flores that he's going to be our chat moderators here. Uh, that's very good. So this is our agenda, and if you're watching this live, you have a tab here for chatting, so you can talk about that. You can ask some questions. We have also some questions for a tab for questions. It's better to use there because we can have a more control about the questions. So feel free to use those functionalities. And if you're watching this from YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It's very important for us, so other people can see that. And also, okay, so now we have some upcoming events. In a few days, we're going to have Beyond the Cloud, enabling secure and on-premise collaborations. That's a very nice event. So here you have the link. Please subscribe there, register yourself, save your seat. It's going to be a very interesting call about how you can use on-premise together with Rocket.Chat, with other uh, cool features and other integrations. And for today, do we have Lucas Campos already? Probably joining. Oh yeah, we do have Lucas Campos. Uh, oops, not. This is Young Hindi. Okay, so Lucas Campos is going to be talk about some job openings that we have here in Rocket.Chat. Hello, Lucas. He's just preparing. A bit to wait. Okay. Hello, Lucas. How are you?
Lucas.
Very good. Welcome. Welcome to our open call.
Thank you, thank you. So, hello everybody. My name is Lucas. I'm part of the talent acquisition team at Rocket Chat. I'm here today to talk to you about our opening positions. So, if you want to be part of Rocket Chat, go check our job board. I'm going to send you the link on the chat. We have positions at the sales team, finance team, operations. So I think that's it. We are a 100% remote company. We are present in more than 30 countries. So that's it. Go check our job board. If you have any questions, hit me on the LinkedIn. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. And for example, today Rodrigo is on vacations because all racketeers get a PTO pay time off
On your on, on your
for
birthdays.
birthday. So
Yeah.
again, Rodrigo, enjoy your day. It's all about you today. And then tomorrow we're going to have, I think, the release, but no spoilers here. Wait a little bit for that. So thank you, Lucas. And if you guys, anyone that's watching this, we have this our openings website. You can go to our website there. It's also our handbook is all on online, so it's very interesting. You can go there and check all the benefits and all that. It's very interesting. I can tell you from first hand that is an awesome company, a unique company that's going to be a unique experience. So thank you, Lucas, for
And we
having
have
you here.
amazing t-shirts, right?
Yeah, we have amazing teacher. Yeah, it's very interesting because you have like points that you can exchange that. You earn points and you have for a lot of activities, and it's very interesting. So I really suggest you that you have if you see some of the openings that you think that it's something related that it's about what you do for work, please apply yourself, and you're going to be very welcome here. Okay, so thank you, Lucas.
Thank
And
you.
now,
Happy
uh,
birthday to Rodrigo.
yeah, I think it's the most celebrated birthday. So now, also, we would like to call you to join our beta testers. So this is a channel that we have here on our open server that we try to get together everybody that is helping on release candidates and to try to pinpoint some bugs before the release. So this is very important because we want to discover them before. So if you like testing, if you have some deployments, join our channel here. It's very very interesting. We have some nice people, so we can exchange some technical informations too. So join our beta testers. It's very interesting. If you
And
missed,
it's beyond just finding bugs, right? The idea is to test functionality, give us feedback, and so you can improve the user experience beyond before things go into production or final release. So it's really you get a sneak peek of what is coming, and you're able to have influence and help us make the user experience better.
yeah, it's very good, and we have awesome people there. We have awesome users that are always helping and exchanging some tips and all that. So join us. It's very interesting thing that we would like to call for helps, and that's very good. Uh, okay, also, if you missed the last sessions or any other sessions, you can check our YouTube channel. Okay, we have all the sessions there. You can see all that we are talking, that we are doing here at the open call, all the news and all the cool stuff that we are talking about. So for example, the last one we talk about our UI. So we had our UI engineers here talking about Fuselage, which is our UI kit. So if you want to learn more about that, check our YouTube channel, check our previous session. We have tons of awesome uh, cool things. And also, if you want to suggest some topic, not only here for the open community call, but also for our Rocket Lab or any other kind of content that you would like to see here, please feel free. This is a place for you, and so please feel free to more than welcome to suggest any topic or anything that you would like to have here. Okay,
What's
so
what rock? What's Rocket Lab? Maybe you can introduce it again to
yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah. Rocket Lab is a very nice initiative that we have here, that we plan on bringing some innovative and passionate and awesome things that our community is doing. And also, thank you, Floris, for the link here. So we have basically we have a repo right now in order to organize everything. We have a repo in our organization. So right now we have already some contents about how to connect Rocket.Chat with bot. So the idea of the and also some other interviews. So the idea of the Rocket Lab is not only to have technical contents, but also conceptual talkings. And so, for example, we are. I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here. So we had, for example, one user that did the how to David from Colombia. So he did a how-to on how to integrate Rocket Chat together with FreePBX, for example. So we plan on cherish that and bringing all the users that are contributing or are doing some cool stuff. So we have also some other episodes that we're going to release. So not a lot of spoilers, only a little bit. So stay tuned. We're going to have some links here, and then we can publish that. Okay, so this is Rocket Lab. We are still developing some backlog of content, so we can have some contents that we can publish. But stay tuned. We are going to publish that very very soon. We already have some contents, and we already have also a playlist on our YouTube channel. So take a look on that. Okay, so now we're going to have Gabriel talking about what he's going to be talking about. So Gabriel, please. No spoilers. I'm not doing a lot of spoilers today. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. So I think the big first, thanks everybody for joining us or watching this later. I'm a little bit under the weather. I had my third shot of the COVID vaccine yesterday, and I don't know, feeling some side effects during the night. And my arm really hurts right now. So it feels like someone just punched me in the arm, but I think it's for a good reason. But the main thing that we would like to talk about, it's the version 5.0 that we are about to release, right? It is a version, I think Skelly is going to be talking more about what is included on that version. It's a major release, so you guys can expect that there's a few changes. There are breaking changes, so we are there was a lot of refactoring done in this release. We are in this process of focusing on improving quality and stability. We are refactoring a lot of the components from Rocket.Chat. We are migrating all our code base from JavaScript, pure JavaScript, into TypeScript. We're gonna intensify this on the next week. We are just a little bit over half the way there, maybe around 60% of the journey to get it finished. We're gonna do a push now on the next few sprints to get done with it. We believe it will bring a lot of more structure to the code base, a lot more ways to check for bugs and development time, right? If you have everything in TypeScript, all the benefits of TypeScript, and I think it's about time that we do this extra push and then finish this migration. So this is like beyond 5.0, but 5.0 already also brings a milestone on the replacement from Blaze templates into React JS templates. The messaging components, it's one of the things that now on version 5, it's going to be the React implementation by default. On version 5, we're still going to be able to choose one or the other rendering engine for rooms. If you find a bug or anything, you need to go back to the previous rendering engine. We hope not, but it still is going to be there, the engine. And then after version 5, the idea is for us to put all our resources on focusing finishing this. So for version 6, ideally, we will see the complete removal of Blaze, the complete refactoring of JavaScript into TypeScript, a lot of to finish the refactoring of our data models to really use asynchronous architecture rather than using fibers. So there's a lot of those things, but the version 5, it does bring together with taking some of the features out of beta that Scally is going to be talking about. It's half the way on those, a lot of those implementations. And then the folks are going to be on making version 6, the other half, and getting over it. So it's going to be a much easier stack for developers to implement, because there's not going to be this hybrid. Some things are in TypeScript, some things are in JavaScript, some things use fibers, some things don't, some things use Blaze, some things use React.js. Like we're going to be focusing in finishing all those conversions and migrations and refactoring, so it becomes a much cleaner stack. There's also other investments on the apps engine that you continue to move stuff from the core code base into apps that people can just install if they need it. So make the whole code base a bit leaner, more efficient. And so I'm very excited about the next this release, because literally is a milestone in the things it's bringing together, and the next release as well, because I think we're going to put us in a much more stable and elegant architecture once we finish those things. We can talk about it a little bit more later if I continue to talk, and then I'm going to be stealing also some stuff that Skelly is going to be talking about. So I'll pass the word to Skelly.
Yeah, sounds good. And just to reinforce, the architecture work that's being done is so important. So, as a code base grows, complexity begins to seep in, and that complexity can end up producing regressions. We have one step forward, one step back when that happens. And so the things that Gabriel mentioned that are all in progress, they will continue with a pretty high degree of focus. The TypeScript migration obviously helps us to use contracts in TypeScript to maintain stability. Test coverage, we're continuing to invest in our automated test coverage. And also, again, as Gabriel referenced, moving towards deprecating fibers, all of those things give us a cleaner architecture overall that make it easier for us to evaluate, green bar our tests. One thing to think about as we progress is that is all is something that I think is very beneficial for our community. And what sometimes happens as a code base becomes more complex, it becomes harder to contribute to that code base, right? And PR reviews slow down. So all of these things also will help us to accelerate PR review for contributions. So really important. Sometimes it's easy for us to focus on only building the next thing, but the architecture here is vital. So, kudos to the core engineering team for their work on those items. Now, with that though, new stuff that we've built that we are deploying. The 5.0 release is a big one. So we have our VoIP solution without the beta tag. Quite a bit has been done in terms of call stability and some new capabilities also that have been added on the enterprise side. So we're excited about that. For those reviewing the release notes, which I always encourage everyone to really dig into those release notes, you'll notice another important new feature is device management. So this is kind of a key item that a number of people had asked for. Now users will be able to see their connected devices and log out devices that they choose to log out. And then admins, of course, can do the same thing across their entire user base. So it's fairly basic, also really useful, but it will form the foundation as we proceed for additional MDM device management type of capabilities that we layer on. Okay, so that's a big item for us. Video conferencing is also going to production with 4 apps for 4 different video conferencing providers. So we're really excited about this step. I see that Anton had asked a question about video conferencing, so I'll try to respond to this one kind of in line. The video conferencing capabilities are a very big step forward for us. We're really happy with them, and there will be follow-ons. So Anton was asking about mobile handling and use of the Jitsi SDK, for example. We will be continuing forward with working on the mobile experience across each of the providers, and each provider will be a little bit different, but depending on their individual capabilities. So that's one track. We will continue to be pushing forward in terms of what information relating to video calls are recorded back into each of the associated rooms, and the options, managing the options around what is recorded. So things like call duration, when a call ended, who joined the call. Hopefully also progressing on to posting call recordings back into a channel. We'll continue down that path. We also will be digging into calendar integration. The nature of video calls is oftentimes they're scheduled. Some happen on the fly, some are scheduled. So we'll be working on calendar integration. And then also for some, maybe not all providers, we'll also be focusing on our embedded experience. So right now, we very much intentionally have the calls open outside of Rocket.Chat, and we're able to leverage the UI of each provider. We are going to be digging into, where appropriate, giving admins the option to allow users to have video calls embedded within Rocket.Chat. So a whole bunch of things that are coming. We're really excited about the launch and excited about each of those tracks as we go. Okay. And then last, but certainly not least with the 5.0 release, is our matrix federation capabilities. So Aaron is going to be going through demoing some of those capabilities, actually using our 4.8 release, but it gives everyone a good preview of what they'll have available in 5.0. So those are all big things. Now, kind of closing the loop back to the quality side. I'm sure people will notice oftentimes we're doing our releases right around the beginning of the month. We've very intentionally, with this release, taken a longer period of time. Like I said, there are a whole bunch of architectural changes, whole bunch of new feature additions. So the core team has really been going through a very thorough analysis of the release to make sure everything is truly set. We are tracking, we think, for this week. It could change, but we're in the tail end of all of our reviews. Again, it's been a very intensive process for the engineering team and the product team, the QA team, and I think it's going to be well worth it. So we're real excited about that. Okay, so that's 5.0, and the other thing I wanted to mention, a little bit of a preview. Maybe we can dig into it a little bit more on our next call. We also have decided to invest in allocating engineering time to an app development squad. So for those who aren't aware, the way we organize the core team is we organize around squads, which are focused on things like omni-channel or digital workplace or marketplace. So we're creating this new squad for app development for a couple of reasons. And I think this is going to be a really, very helpful thing for the community. First, we're using this to drive inventory in the marketplace. The more varied and useful and valuable the inventory that we have on the shelves in the marketplace, the more engagement with the marketplace we have. And therefore, the more opportunities there are for third-party publishers, people like yourselves, to create apps, publish them to the marketplace, and then that additional engagement will drive usage of the apps that we create. So think of it as kind of a seeding process. It's a way for us to create some acceleration, some ongoing momentum relating to marketplace. Another key consideration in terms of our moves in this direction, in terms of how it benefits the community. We also, as many open source projects have, we have some capabilities, some features in the core platform that don't get a whole lot of regular love. We support them as needed, but they're not necessarily getting a lot of day-to-day active maintenance. By moving some of those capabilities to individual apps, those capabilities remain available to everybody. It also creates the opportunity for community members to contribute to improving the capabilities of those apps over time. And in terms of then making it really clear the status of each feature set, in some cases, if we have capabilities that haven't been touched for a couple of years, we may label them appropriately to say that they're not being actively supported by the core team. So people are aware of their status. People can put in requests relating to them. But I'm really excited about the path that we can follow. So our app development squad will be working on creating apps that are completely new capabilities. And they'll also be looking for some of these opportunities to take pieces of core code, move them to apps. They're still available to everyone, but it makes our code base leaner and cleaner, easier to manage for the core team, and easier to contribute to for community members. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm excited about this. We'll definitely be updating everyone on the progress for that squad as we go. All right. So I think, Duda, I think that's all I have, and we can hand things over to Aaron, right?
Yeah. Also, I would like to add to that I have just developed my first app myself. It's like a kind of a silly app. It's like just to use a Chuck Norris API, but just as a learning experiment. We are going to be covering that probably on the Rocket Lab, and also we are going to bring this. And also, I felt the need to create a new demo app. Okay, so we have a lot of functionalities on the app framework. So the idea is to create one app that can have all the functionalities, even if it's only like to show up those functionalities. So if you want to learn how to develop an app, we're going to start this movement on one of our channels. The idea is to have this collaboratively, and then along the way improve our documentation. So stay tuned for that. If you want to learn, it's very. I'm not a node developer at all. I'm more for a Python kind of guy. And I was like in 2 hours, 3 hours, I was able to, yeah, not a Python lover there, uh, but I was able in 2 hours to have a working prototype. Okay, so the idea is to create some contents around that on how you can integrate stuff. Okay, so stay tuned. This is not a lot of spoilers. I'm really bad to avoid spoilers, but soon we are going to have this kind of content. So if this is something that you are looking for, then you can learn and then help on other app developments. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
one final note on that. As you're working on apps, also, if you start to run into the edges of the capabilities of Apps Engine, please reach out. Please, please let me know. But let Duda know. Is the path we've been following is as we've been creating apps and as community members have been creating apps, the Apps Engine team has been steadily expanding that toolkit, which I've talked about on a few previous calls. We plan to continue doing that. Of more capabilities can lead to more innovative and robust apps. So please let us know if you start to hit some of those limitations. And Duda is proof that we can all be Node.js developers now.
yeah. Okay.
Two things that I've just saw on the chat. One, I think we have a community member mentioning that, for instance, that he had to change back to the Blaze rendering of the message because of some issues that he was facing. So yeah, that's the reason why we kept it as still as an option, and we're making it the default so you can capture more of those issues and fix it. So please continue to report us and letting us know where you're finding those issues, where the new rendering maybe didn't catch an edge case or a rendering capability that the old one used to have, so you can fix those. Because ideally, on the next release, we want to have caught all those issues, so we can completely deprecate and remove the Blaze template rendering. So please help referring, give us the list of the things that are not working so we can make it work. The other one, there is a question from Anton in terms of this provider agnostic strategy for video conference feature. What about the client where GTC video conference provider presented was built in with GTC SDK? So we are looking into it. Some of the providers, they are offering different SDKs that you could use WebRTC, just using the WebRTC to connect those streams and have this embedded experience. And some of them, we saw that if they have an app, we can reference and try to open the app on the mobile, and then you will have to have the two apps installed to jump from the Rocket.Chat app and really open the video conferencing app of choice that they have chosen. So we're still finding this balance. Which ones are we going to be able to embed with the SDKs without making the Rocket.Chat client itself bulkier or heavier? If we can use it, if it's a fair degree of abstraction that you can just use the native components for WebRTC and have the video conferencing experience. And what are going to be the options when sometimes you want to open another app? For instance, if you have Zoom and you want to use Zoom, let's say, and then you click on a meeting, you want to jump to the Zoom app, and then maybe that's going to be the experience that you want. So we will make those things as like the options. That's the intent, at least right now.
Okay. So now let's have our own Aaron here. So we are going to be covering. Uh, awesome. This feature. I think Aaron is one of the most advocate for this feature. He even wrote an article on his blog about it. He really likes that. Hello, Aaron. How are you?
How's it going?
Very, very good. So we are going to be talking about the Matrix Federation Protocol, right? This is awesome, and I'm not going to give you spoilers here because Aaron is going to be talking about that. So please, Aaron.
All right, cool. So I didn't create any like fancy PowerPoint presentation or anything, but I did kind of create a little bit of a scenario that I hope kind of is like more relatable. Kind of take we all are about rockets here, right? Because we're Rocket.Chat. So I created a domain for Bob's Rocket Shop, right? So kind of the scenario here is, Bob has a rocket shop and he wants to be able to collaborate with his vendors and his his suppliers and his customers, right? Typically, that's fall back to like email, phone calls, whatever. But moving in kind of like this more rich communication with chat, real-time chat, and collaboration. He wants to kind of move into that. So this is where Matrix kind of comes into play here. So let me share my screen here. Let's see. I think I could select just a window, hopefully. All right. That looks like it came through.
Yep.
I've never used this platform before, so I'm not sure. Okay, cool. So so I've got so typically like he would use, like his email address is like bob@bobsrocketshop.com, right? Or bobsrocket.shop, sorry, one of the fancy new domains. Kind of on Federation, he would want to use a similar approach, right? So, he's got Rocket.Chat set up here at chat.bobsrocketshop, and he would federate in all Matrix world with Bob at bobsrocket.shop, right? So kind of very similar to email. You want to have that kind of correlation, that identity when federating. So that's what he federates as. So I'm gonna kind of just do a quick example, hopefully not too quick. Feel free to ask some questions here. I have a tendency to go very fast, rehearse something and take it nice and slow. Then I go to actually present it live and it goes like a 15-minute down to like a 2-minute, right? So stop me and ask questions if you want to. All right. So I'm gonna create a new channel in this example. And so kind of with that illustration, we're gonna say like, he wants to talk to his vendor. So he's got a rocket shop and he wants to talk to his engine vendor. So I'm gonna create a channel here. And then over here in this other tab here, I've got Larry here, Bob and Larry. Larry is an engine vendor. In this case, I'm using matrix.org, right? Just kind of to show that it's not just Rocket.Chat, but it's everybody in the Matrix that speaks Matrix can be talked to. And so I'm going to just kind of quickly demo the process of actually starting a conversation. So here in 4.8, the only command available is the bridge command. So you just type bridge, invite, and then let me actually copy that username so I don't type it wrong. I'm going to invite Larry, the demigods. Yeah, there we go. So he has an invitation from Bob to start a conversation and join the engine vendor channel. So from here, he's now joined. And so we'll send a message over there. There we go. And see over here on the Matrix side, we've got the message here. So, hey, Bob, we are about ready to ship. You can kind of see that, that kind of back and forth between Matrix. So this could be, Rocket.Chat clients everywhere. Ideally, right? Ideally, like we would want, Rocket.Chat here. But it can be any provider, anybody that speaks Matrix. So instead of having to use, email and phone calls, he can kind of have a more enriched experience here. Share files in real time. Start video calls. Sort of that sort of future is what would be possible kind of with this federation. So That was a very quick demo. I apologize. Like I said, I go very, very quick. But I think like the power here is like there's a lot of potential here, right? Because like before, like if you had Rocket.Chat, you had your Rocket.Chat server, you had to invite everybody in. So you had to create like an account, create a channel, and everybody had to kind of join your channel. And so it's kind of like the security overhead of now having to like have external people directly inside of your solution. Versus this, they get to live in their own world, right? They get to live in with their own security controls in their own Rocket.Chat server. And then you want to start a conversation with them, you just bring them directly in, right? Bring them into a managed channel that's kind of a shared space between both companies or between you and a customer, whatever. You get to kind of have that kind of collaborative space. So there's really a lot of power here, right? So this is one of the reasons I'm very excited about it, because I think like I come back from the days like I used IRC. IRC is kind of like it's kind of federated, but not really, right? Then there's like the Google Talk XMPP. Like it's okay, right? Like I'm not dissing on XMPP. It's okay. It has its place. But then you kind of have this new, more modern federation, which is it's very exciting. A lot of potential kind of like built in from day one into the Matrix protocol. So us adopting it is very exciting.
Aaron, can you talk just a little bit about the old federation versus what you just showed here, and how our community should kind of deal with it if they're on the old one versus the current state?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing is they're not compatible, right? So the old federation was just Rocket.Chat. It was you set up and you could talk between Rocket.Chat instances, but that's it, right? Nobody else had kind of adopted that protocol. We were kind of building it in-house. This new protocol is, we're kind of building upon the work done by the matrix.org folks, right? So this is kind of like, it's kind of a difference between, a very smaller pool of people. It was alpha. We were, I think it's been alpha for a while, right? And so like we're kind of going from that very small pool of users to like a wide open world of users, right? To where like there could be hundreds, thousands of people you can now kind of like start to integrate with, because it's a shared protocol, a shared foundation that we're all kind of able to build on together. So they're not compatible with each other, but I would definitely say like if you're going to choose one now, I would choose Matrix, right? But yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to that, as a reminder, Aaron's example here is using Rocket.Chat and then a Matrix client, but that could just as easily be multiple Rocket.Chat workspaces as well. So as Aaron was saying, if you're getting started with federation, even if your starting point is federating multiple Rocket.Chat workspaces, this is the path to go. It's less restrictive, and that's always a good choice. A couple other things to note. And by the way, Aaron, perfect speed on the demo. By the way, not too fast, not too slow.
Good.
With the 5.0 release, also, a few other things. So in the 5.0 release, community can do exactly what Aaron was showing for direct messages. And then for enterprise, there are capabilities for admins to be able to manage and control what rooms are federated. And then you can add users to channels and manage that process within the UI, not just via /commands. So in terms of a quick summary preview on that, we have a few of those things coming. And then also there are visual indicators that indicate what user is a member of your workspace versus what user is a federated user.
Very useful.
One thing that I see that it's interesting, when I first got to know about Rocket.Chat, I was like, okay, so it's not IRC and XMPP, so we have all those protocols in place, and Rocket.Chat is not on those protocols. And then I was like, okay, but Rocket.Chat has tons of APIs, and you can integrate everything, and that is something really good, right? You can do a lot of stuff. and now we have the both of the both world, the best of the both worlds, right? You have APIs, you have apps engine, you have a lot of stuff, and also you can federate with an open protocol federation. So this is a top-notch solution. It's a great solution that it's also open, and then Rocket.Chat positioned itself as a open solution and an open community, and also adopting open protocols. And I think this is very, very important, because as you could see now, chat is becoming more like an email, and then you're going to have your email address as a chat address. So this opens to a lot of possibilities for connecting different organizations, and a lot of stuff. So this is the future, and the future is like now, and it's very, very interesting to be doing that, to be showing this here today. So thank you, Ari, for that. It's very very interesting to be part of that too. So really, really exciting.
So one takeaway is maybe to grab your matrix.org domain now. Registration is still free.
Well, yeah, that's very nice. That's very good.
No. Well, the
So
domain should be actually like, ideally, each organization is going to use their own domain for chat. That's the way you feel, like they're same as email. So I don't think there's much point of getting a specific subdomain or anyone. Like the idea, I think in the future, your email handler, it's going to be your chat handler in the same way. That's when true federation becomes a reality, that's what we expect to see.
Yeah, it's very much like email, right? Like a lot of companies have like email.company.com as like the portal to access the email, but they don't actually send email out on that subdomain, right? They send it out in the root domain. So I think the same sort of situation here applies for Rocket.Chat and Federation in general. You access the application on a subdomain, but you federate with the world with your company's established like identity, which should be
identity
your root
domain.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, this is awesome. So do you have any questions here from our audience, or probably there's a lot of questions. So this is not something very simple, right, Aaron, to set up. You need to. There is a lot of certificates going on. Yeah,
I would argue it's actually not that bad, right? So I do have an article that I wrote that I can share here in the chat. It's actually pretty easy,
please.
right? There's a Docker Compose file that you set up, and it spins up Dendrite, and it just works, right? So there's very little setup. It's actually very easy to get up and going. So
nice.
If you want to try it, there's no reason not to, right?
So
that's kind of the idea. We want it as easy as possible to start doing this.
Yeah, and if you want to try this and set up on your own server, you need to have at least 4.8, right, and higher. And then if you bump into any difficulty, reach us, and then we can have here on the link we have on the chat we have Aaron just posted the link, and I'm going to have this link also on the description on YouTube. And if you have any problems doing that, please come to our open.rocket.chat. We have a support channel there. You can ask. We are all there all the time. Aaron is also very accessible there to help. So feel free to test it. And again, if you have any problems, and if you want if you bump into any limitations or anything that you think it's interesting for improvement, let us know, because this is very important, right? We have a question here from our Dabdut. Is Dendrite mandatory?
You could definitely you can use Synapse if you'd prefer Synapse. We've done a lot of testing with Dendrite, and we found that it is, for the feature set we're using, it's pretty stable. If you do ask the matrix.org folks, they'll probably suggest Synapse. So if you want a supported version, go ahead and use Synapse. They're interchangeable, right? This works with either one. The specific guide is Dendrite because it is a tad bit easier to set up and a little bit more resource friendly. So that's why I've chosen it, and why I think we've also chosen it for testing. But Synapse also works just fine, right? They're both Matrix protocol compatible. So
yeah, and we have seen a few differences just in kind of this past week of validating the 5.0 release. So a few of those differences that we've seen between Dendrite and Synapse, we will add those to the documentation so that people are aware of those things also.
Yeah, I'd say we've actually, I think, contributed a few fixes already, right? So we're trying to help them improve so we can actually use it. So collaborating.
Yeah, win-win. Okay, awesome. That's
Yeah,
very good. Yep.
there's another question there about if the current federation, be deprecated. So yes, ideally in the future we want to have only like one best way to federate, and then we only deprecate the existing one once Rocket.Chat becomes a home server itself on the Matrix world like naming. So when we end up removing the dependency of external, having external services and so on, so then we can deprecate, and we'll see if there'll be a way to migrate old federated channels like the current federation into the new model. But our target is to have only one way to federate, which we believe would be the best one, and then to keep just that way one working, and maybe create some paths for migration.
Okay. Also, Young is asking what role is given to a federated user from another workspace inside Rocket.Chat.
Yes, it's basically like I think Matrix uses the term like puppeted user, I think is the term they use. But basically, like they have no access to Rocket.Chat itself, right? From their end, all they get, like they're using their interface. So it's not like they can come and browse your channels or anything. I believe the actual role is like just user, but they can't log into your server, right? The only way they can access that channel is through their server on their side. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter so much because they can't actually use it. But I think the role is user. And as Chris said, in the next version, there will actually be an identifier. So it'll be very clear that they aren't an internal user.
Okay.
And I believe just if it's more like a licensing perspective, I believe external users are not included in the active users, if that's more of the question. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
and as a reminder on that, since you can use Matrix Federation for Rocket.Chat workspace to Rocket.Chat workspace federation, in that case, the user is going to exist on one of the servers and be licensed on one of the servers, but they don't have to be on both.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? I think it was awesome. This is very good and very exciting. And yeah, that's very good. Thank you, Aaron, for this great presentation. And I think it was very shed some light, and we are very excited for this. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Thanks, Aaron.
So now we have our community member of the month. However, I'm not seeing here. I sent him some messages, so I'm not sure if we call him, if we just close the name here, or we wait for the next opportunity. What do you think, Sing?
If he's not here, maybe we should wait for the
Yeah,
next
we should.
opportunity.
Yeah, but we are waiting for you. We are going to go for it. You're not hiding. Probably he had some connectivity problems. So, yeah. Okay. So next, so no.
But then are you
community
going to
member.
have then 2 community member of the month next month?
Yeah, don't worry.
Two,
We're going
two
to have a
sets of
bigger
flags to
section.
go out.
Yeah, we're going to have a bigger session next month. Don't worry about that. So okay, so now we have Singly, and then we can unfortunately finish our session. It's very nice to have everybody, but Singly, what you can bring us? You have any
Sure.
remarkable?
Yeah, it's like Google Summer Code program is ongoing, and all of our projects are now have repository that is welcoming new contributor, community member to come in and browse the code, maybe even help in coding. So if you go to our Google Summer Code information website, you will see a set of links to each one of the repository representing the projects that are ongoing, and if they're not already in shape, should be in shape within the next week. At a stage where you can actually go in and try out the code and kind of code along with the contributors who are on those specific projects. So definitely come along. And internally, we actually will be going through the first evaluation where the contributors' work will be evaluated by the mentor, and then we will give them either a pass or fail for the second part of the project. And that's going to happen this coming week. And I think that is all that we have in terms of updates for those. But definitely come and see the project. And again, at the end of the term, which will be closer to August, end of August, we will also have a demo day, which Duda is busy organizing, where every one of the project will be actually showcasing what their result is to everybody. And that whole day is like a virtual conference that will be recorded. You're welcome to participate as well.
Yeah,
And
this is very nice to not only collaborate, so we have new contributors. So if you want to see how it's going on, if you want to help on the project, right, you can see in open we have Google Summer of Code project, so you can help on those projects there, and then we expect, maybe next year you can apply yourself for Google Summer of Code. It's a great initiative. So that's yeah.
Just as a teaser, we have a project that's actually using Rocket.Chat for virtual conferences. So you want to come in and see how we're trying to do it. There's also another project that takes Rocket.Chat and makes it into, well, I think it's okay now to use the term in-app chat, which is like a little component that you can throw into your web app and then have Rocket.Chat featured right there without any of the, like a simpler version of it, without all the tethering, all the heavy backend. So you want to come and take a look at that project. We have a few very exciting, innovative projects that are going on out of the 12 or 14 that we have this year. Thanks.
Yeah, great. So I think we should close it for today. Thank you everybody that participated. We really appreciate it. And stay tuned for some news, some cool features that we're going. Stay tuned also if you want to check out the full release note. You can go to our GitHub. We have the release note there. You can find them on the release candidates. Also, please help us testing. We are on the release candidate, I think the number 10. And so try it. You have the beta testers help us out. And I think that's it for today. Thank you, and we see you soon. Okay, bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Have
Bye.
a good week.